This is Study Now, an international student recruitment consultancy headquartered in London with a growing presence globally in countries like Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, Egypt, Turkey, and Qatar. A student-first organization built on a simple belief: opportunity should not be limited by borders. Over the past 5 years, we've helped thousands of students turn their study abroad dreams into reality. With about 3,500 successful enrollments and a 98% visa success rate, we're not just facilitating admissions, we're changing lives. We proudly partner with over 150 accredited universities worldwide. And in April 2025, we awarded 6 scholarships, including 3 full undergraduate tuition scholarships and 3 50% postgraduate tuition awards, because opportunity should be shared. With partners across key markets, our reach spans the world. From one idea, we built a worldwide recruitment network, combining digital scale with local insight to serve real student needs. Honored with York St. John Global Excellence and Global Brand Elevation Awards, University of Hertfordshire Recognition Award, and University of Sunderland Agent Award, we've guided thousands into trusted universities worldwide through course and university matching, visa support, and enrollment. We empower students, partner institutions, and communities touched by global graduates. If you're ready to build the life you've dreamed of through impactful education, take the bold step today. Don't study later, study now.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our live session. My name is Eunice from Study Now, and with me, I have a beautiful, smart, intelligent lady, a whole country manager. And guess what? For West Africa. Hi, Ibeli. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Eunice. Nice to meet you. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I'm happy to be here. Good evening, everyone.
Okay, so today we'll be discussing about everything student needs to know about RGU, ranging from the entry requirements, the intake, what campus life, tuition discounts, yes, and also what does RGU looking at RGU as a study a university that students would want to go to. Like now we know that RGU is located in Scotland, Aberdeen. So, what can you tell us about your university?
Okay, we are going straight to it. Lovely. So Robert Gordon University is a modern university located in Aberdeen, Scotland. Now, when I say modern university, I'm sure you might be wondering what's that. So there are different types of universities in the UK. We have the ancient or the historic universities, and we have like the modern universities. So modern doesn't particularly mean that we are new, because we are still over 100 years old. But what it basically means is we have a modern approach to teaching, and we basically teach students on the relevant skills they need in today's world. So we teach and we carve our curriculum and our courses in such a way that it's whatever is of importance and beneficial in the world. It's the global need, basically, that we try to meet. So at some point, we got a lot of interest in courses like computing, cybersecurity, data science. Typically, we did not have those kind of courses, but we had to carve out such courses and we had to make sure that it was relevant to the modern world. So we teach our students to be employable. We don't want them to study and come out and they are looking for jobs or going helter skelter trying to look for where to fit in. We teach practically. So we have lots of laboratories, we have lots of things, we have lots of industry connections, we have lots of accreditations across a number of our courses that makes our teaching very practical and relevant for students that are eventually interested in a lot of top companies in the world. So when I say modern, that's basically what I mean by we're a modern university. So we are located in Aberdeen, Scotland, rightly said. Aberdeen is in the northern part of the United Kingdom. I also like to explain what that means, because I know there's a bit of confusion where you say the UK and you're like, okay, is it London? I'm like, no, London is just some place in the UK. So the United Kingdom is divided into four. So we have England, we have North Ireland, we have Scotland, and we have Northern Ireland. So basically we are in Scotland, so we're in the northern part of the United Kingdom. I usually just point up because it's towards the north, so it's in the northern part of the United Kingdom. We're not in England, we are not in Wales, we're not in Northern Ireland, we're not in any of those places, but we are up there in Scotland. So that's where we're located, in Aberdeen, Scotland, and that's just basically what Robert Goddard University is.
All right, thank you so much. So let's get to see what students have to say about RGU.
Robert Gordon University has a wide range of courses that are in very high demand among international students. And I thought, why not put them on your radar too? Out of everything trending right now, these 5 courses are topping the demand list: public health and health promotion, business analytics, human resource management, accounting, and social work. Why are they topping the demand list? These courses are designed to give you real-world skills, experience, and global opportunities that today's employers are looking for. Any of these courses align with your interests or career goals. The application window for the 2026 academic intake at Robert Gordon University is now open. Want to know more or apply today? Simply DM us RGU and we'll guide you through the next steps. Don't study later, study now.
All right. Okay, so that's a beautiful one. So the floor is open for we to know everything we need to know about RGU. Yes, thank you so much.
Okay. So I thought it was going to be a question and answer, Eunice. That's why you just want me to talk through, or would you want me to do presentation now? What would you rather we do?
Okay, I mean the presentation. So after the presentation comes the question and answer.
All right. So I'll just share my screen. Um, okay. Okay. So can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Lovely. Thank you. All right, then. So you are all welcome to this session with Robert Gordon University. I already mentioned where we are located, but I could just do a bit of talk about that. So I mentioned we are in Aberdeen, Scotland. So this is just some pictorial image of some place in Aberdeen, not particularly in Robert Gordon University, but some place in Aberdeen. So you can access us via the 3 major transportation system in the UK. So you could either fly, because we have an international airport in Aberdeen, so students can fly directly to Aberdeen via the international airport, or they could decide to go by train. So I realized that some students, when they arrive in the UK, some of them want to just travel and arrive in London just so they can feel the whole thing about London, then take a train to Aberdeen. You could do that. The train will take you about 5-6 hours if you want to use the train. Then you could also use the National Express, which is the coach, which it's like 7-8 hours, and most times they go at night. So you can always do that. If you alternately really want to fly to Edinburgh, or you want to fly to Newcastle or Manchester, you can always access or get to us in Aberdeen via the train station or via the bus. We are very easy to be located, and you can get to us from anywhere. So these are just few images of the campus when it's the summer. It can be extremely beautiful in Aberdeen in the summer. I mean, it's beautiful in the winter because you see the snows and all that. But I know Africans, we like a bit of sunshine. So you do have a bit of sunshine sometime around June, July, August. Just depends on what the word is at the time. We also have this beautiful River D. River D is just flowing behind campus, and we have lots of castles, and we have a beach. It's beautiful as well. We have the Aberdeen Beach, and we are also very big on the Aberdeen street art as well. So I'm not going to play the video, and I'm just going to go straight to why would you choose Robert Gordon University amongst all the over 100 universities in the United Kingdom. So first of all, we like to talk about our campus and facilities. Now, I mentioned earlier that we have a very practical approach to teaching, and we do also have a very practical approach to the kind of courses that we offer at Robert Gordon University. So these are just some images. The first image is from a student in the School of Engineering working on a draft for, I think, a wheelchair for a student with a disability. Then the other images are just some resting areas on campus. We have this from the biomedical studio. We have RGU sports, which students also get very excited about. Students that are coming to study art are not left behind because you have your dedicated space throughout the duration of your study. So courses like fashion, film and media, um, photography, we do have all those kind of courses in our School of Arts. Then you go straight to like our biomedical science labs. We also would have engineering labs. We'll have courses in pharmacy. So this is an image from um the pharmacy, the makeup pharmacy room on campus. Then we are the only university in Europe that has this dart simulator. So it's basically a dart simulator for our students studying oil and gas engineering or drilling and wells engineering. So it's very practical. It makes students feel like they're really in an oil rig, and it's very good. I mean, a lot of students have attested to how good it's helped them, and we tend to have professionals come on campus just to use the simulator, and it's proven to be very, very helpful. Hence the reason why I said we're very practical in our approach. So it's not students studying engineering, oil and gas engineering, that would never experience going to the rig and all that. We have very practical approach to teaching and learning. Another thing we pride ourselves in is our employability rate. So 15% of, sorry, scratch that. About 96.1% of our graduates would typically get jobs within 15 months of graduation. I like to say that this data is verifiable, so you can always check it. It's an HESA data. So it means that in almost 100% of our graduates will typically get good jobs. Now, it's one thing for you to go study in the UK, and it's another thing for you to study in the UK and end up working maybe like in a care home, and you probably studied business, you know. So when we say employability rate, it means that our students graduate and get jobs in their relevant industries. And this is very, this cannot happen if we don't have lots of practical approach to teaching. Our placement and work experience options also really does go a long way. We have links with a lot of industries, which I think is the next slide. Now, we are also, a lot of our courses are accredited. Our nursing courses are accredited. Business analytics, human resource is accredited. Our architecture program is accredited, and we have a lot of courses. Social work is also accredited, and we have a lot of courses that are typically accredited. So this is just blowing our trumpet a little bit. I like to skip through this slide, but I like to talk about the RGU sports, which all the students would have free membership to the gym and to the building. So we have a massive building just dedicated to RGU sports. So all the kinds of sporting activities indoor. Now, a lot of students have asked me, do you have basketball? We have an Aberdeen FC. So, of course, there's typically football in Aberdeen, there's hockey, there's cricket, there's basketball as well. But all the kinds of indoor sports you can think about is all located in the RGU sports. And we are a university that we're very diversified. We currently have over 16,000 students. So we're not a very big university, but we have lots of diversity in terms of where our students come from. So we have students from over 132 countries in the world currently studying at Robert Gordon University. So these are just some subjects that are available at RGU. So we have courses in law, we have courses in renewable energy, we have courses in oil and gas engineering, we have drilling and wells engineering, we have engineering management, we have courses in architecture, we have courses in construction project management, we have courses in computing, data science, data analytics, we have artificial intelligence as well, we have accounting, business and management. We have courses across all these subject areas. So we have public health, We'd have healthcare management, we'd have pharmacy. We don't have sports science anymore. The course was taken off. We have courses in computing, we have courses in communication, we have international tourism and hospitality management, we have social work. We have a wide range of courses. That's what I like to think. I like to say any course you can think about, come check us. I'm sure we have that course at Robert Gordon University. Okay, so the application page is very easy to use. Our website is www.rgu.ac.uk, but I'm going to go through the slide because you are working with a very reputable agent, Study Now. They're one of our tested and our trusted agents, so you wouldn't have to go through this whole stress of submitting application yourself because they will typically take off that burden of you submit an application, and because of the contracts we have with them as a top agent, your application will get to be looked at early and you get faster turnaround time on your application and your decision. So the Scottish degree typically is 4 years. So for example, if you have WAEC, you would need to start off with a foundation. If you have A levels, you might be considered to a year 2 entry where you do year 2, year 3, and year 4. Then we have some courses that are integrated with the masters. A lot of our courses in engineering for our bachelors have integrated masters with it. So you end up doing like 4 years or 5 years instead of 3 years or 4 years. Just so it's complete, more like, so you do and you have your BSc, then you have your MSc as well. We would typically, I would like to just talk about the entry requirements. So if you're coming for undergraduate entry, we would accept WAEC so far as you have a minimum of a C. 5 credit passes in your WAEC will take that to accept you onto ICRGU Foundation. If you have A levels, we can consider into direct year 1 or year 2, as the case may be. If you have OND, we'll consider you into year 1 or year 2, as the case may be. If you have HND, you can do a top up with us. Our top up will be 2 years in that case. So you do year 3 and year 4, you get a fresh bachelor's degree. So for our postgraduate entry, we would accept bachelor's with a first class, a second class upper, a second class lower. In some cases, we'll consider HND students with higher upper credit, HND students with upper credit and at least 5 years work experience in their relevant field will be considered for a direct master's with us. Those are the only cases where we will consider students for a direct master's if your work experience is top notch and you have at least an upper credit in your score. We typically also have courses like Masters in Research, which has become alarmingly popular in a good part of Nigeria and some part of Africa at the time. So we offer Masters by Research courses and would also offer PhD entry courses as well. So we like to also say that if you want to check the exact requirements, you could also go to rg.ac.uk/Nigeria if you're from Nigeria. If you're from Ghana, you just do /Ghana. If you're from Kenya, /Kenya. No matter the country you're from, just do the slash and you put your country and you'll see the exact entry requirement for your country. So we have scholarships. We do have scholarships. In fact, we are looking at having more scholarships for next year. So for students that are coming or considering coming to study with us for September, chances that you would have more scholarship is high. But for now, what we're offering is we have £3,000 undergraduate scholarships. It's an automatic scholarship. You don't need to apply for it. So as a student, once you get an offer, you get £3,000 of your tuition. Postgraduate students get £2,000 scholarship of their tuition. We would also have an early bird discount. So if you pay your deposit before a certain time, you get £500 additional off your tuition. If you're coming for a business course, you get additional £1,000 for a postgraduate student. So your tuition, your scholarship comes up to 3,500. And because you're going to apply through Study Now, you might have a few extra discounts that we can award you because you're applying to come study with us through Study Now. So we like to say you can get up to 4,000 to 5,000 pound scholarship. Yes, and not like our tuition is so much. Our tuition range is between 16,000 to 20,000 pounds. So just imagine taking 5,000 pounds of 16,000. It can come down to as low as 11,000 pounds. Or if you're doing a course that is 20,000, it can come down to as low as 15,000 pounds. If you're doing a course that is 17,000 and you take a 4,000, your tuition can be as low as 13,000 pounds. So in terms of tuition, it's pretty affordable, I think. It's pretty competitive compared to a lot of other universities. So I already mentioned you don't have to bother yourself to applying to study with us. Study now will take this burden off you and everything just goes easily. The other part I need to talk about is the document you require, because this is very important for us at Robert Gordon University. So, for example, if you're coming for a postgraduate course with us at Robert Gordon, we typically need official copies of your university transcripts. We don't want your student copies. We would only accept the official copies of your university transcript. I would also do the same thing for the certificate. So would need your original certificate, we'll need your current CV. Please ensure that your CV is very, very, very detailed. I mean, it doesn't have to be like 10 pages, but as much as possible, it should cover all the study gaps. Maybe you finished your bachelor's in 2011 and this is 2025, next year is 2026, and you're applying. So you basically have over like 14 years gap from your bachelor's. So you need to explain what you've been doing in that 14 years. And if you have an amazing CV, it covers the gap. So we don't need to ask you any questions. But if there's any point or any gaps that are missing, you can always do like a study gap explanation where you could just write out something on Word and just attach the application. We'd also need reference letters, typically professional reference, but you could get one academic and one professional reference. We would also need English language proficiency. In this case, we'd accept WAEC or your NECO with a minimum of a C6 in English. Now, if you're applying from Ghana, would accept WASE. If you're applying from Kenya or other parts of Africa, would accept your O-level English. So far as you're from an English-speaking country in Africa, would accept your A-level with a minimum of a C6 in English. We'll typically need the copy of your passport, evidence of sponsorship or scholarship, and then a statement of purpose. Now, the statement of purpose is a very important document for us at Robert Gordon University. But before I talk about that, I will just go through the slide that talks about the English language requirements. Where you can rightly see would accept WAEC or NECO C6 or better. If you're coming to study social work with us, or you're coming to study like nursing with us, you would typically need to write an IELTS, just not because of us, but because of the accreditation. And because of, for example, the nursing, the UK Nursing and Midwifery Council would require you to show that you have IELTS. It's not our requirement. It's the NMC's requirement, and social work would also have that kind of requirement. So if you're coming for these two courses, then you typically must have to write the IELTS test. But if you're not coming for any of this course, if any other course, then you would accept your WAEC or your NECO with a minimum of a C6 in English. Simple. So if your WAEC or your NECO doesn't meet up, and you probably are coming for any other course that is not social work or nursing, we offer free vouchers for the password English test. So you could always just reach out to Study Now, then reach out to us, and we'll get you the free voucher where you can take the test, and that will meet up with the English language requirements. We want to make life as easy as possible. You need to meet up with your English language requirements, hence the reason why we are offering you the free voucher for the test, so you can meet that and pass that. Okay, so the statement of purpose, as I was about to talk about. Now, this is a very, very important document for your application. I like to say we don't do credibility interviews at Robert Gordon University, so you can imagine how important your statement of purpose, your CV, and your letters of reference is to us at Robert Gordon. We need your SOP to be very good. I mean, you're writing an essay, you're selling yourself to us. We've never met you. We probably would never meet you until you get on campus. So the only way we get to know about you, why you want to come study with us, why did you choose the UK, why did you choose RGU, is via your statement of purpose. The first thing is the word count. I saw a lot of personal statements that were like 3 pages, 4 pages, 5 pages. That's a lot. That's a lot. We don't need it to be like 10 pages. It should be short, but it should talk about the main things that it needs to talk about. So we need at least 2 pages, 1.5 pages would work just fine for us. And so the word count has to be good. If you give us a 3 pages or 4 pages, to purpose, the main point will be lost. So it's best to make it brief precise, concise. It has to be original. We don't want you going to plagiarize your personal statement. Write it from your heart. Write it. We have a personal statement guide, which I'm sure Study Now also would be happy to share with you, and just how to write your personal statement. It has to be unique to you. I don't want to read something and I'm reading somebody else and I'm seeing the same lines. No, I believe you. Not two persons have the same brain. We probably think alike for some things, but we wouldn't write in the exact same way. So it has to be unique. It has to be personal to you. Want to know why you've chosen the course. Want to know why you want to come to RG. You want to know why you've chosen Aberdeen. Want to know your plans after you're studying and all that. And you need to make sure that it talks about your career plans. It talks about your future goals. Now, one thing that we've noticed in recent times is a lot of students are being called for credibility interviews from UKVI, and typically they don't do well. And I like to say a student that writes a fantastic personal statement would do very well in their UKVI credibility interview if called, because you already have an idea of what you want to do. You already know why you want to do it. So it's just easy for you to write it out or to answer it. So ensure that you are genuine, you're coming to study in the UK for the right reasons, and make sure that your SOP fits the criteria that we would need. So we do not need you to pay all your tuition once. We'd only request a 34% initial deposit, which when you calculate it is about between 4,000 to 5,000 or 6,000 pounds. It depends on the course you're coming to study. But it could be as low as 4,500 and it could be as high as 6,000 pounds. It just depends on your course of interest. Once you pay the 34%, you don't need to pay anything upon enrollment, and you can spread your balance in up to 10 installments when you arrive on campus. 10 installments when you arrive on campus. All you need is your 34% initial deposit. Now we're getting to the end of the presentation and I'm looking forward to taking your questions. We have different accommodation options at Robert Gordon University. One thing I like to talk about is if you're looking for a place to study that is not very expensive, look no further. You've come to the right place. You can get accommodation as low as £100 per week, university managed accommodation. And you know what? It's a university managed accommodation might be a bit more expensive than privately owned accommodation. So university managed accommodation as low as £100 per week, which comes up to about £400 in a month. So if you're even staying in private owned accommodation or you're sharing like a flat with someone, it means that your accommodation can go as low as £300. So that's affordable to live. So Aberdeen is really affordable to live in. That's one very important thing you need to know. Then we also have the Cradia Village as well. We have different accommodation options basically, and the price varies from one accommodation to the other. So depending on whatever you want, you can always talk to. We have an amazing accommodation team. I'll be happy to guide and just share insights and just share updates on whatever you need. So the Woman Hill is quite popular for students because it's just very close to the city center. It's not so far away from campus, and we have buses that go back and forth to campus. So most times students would rather stay close to city center where it's close to work, and they just go back and forth to school. Okay, so I think that is the end of the presentation. Yeah, so that'll be the end of the presentation, and that's just my details right there. I think that would be all. But we like to say, please follow us on social media. And yeah, I will just stop sharing my screen now. And Eunice, I'm happy to take questions now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for that beautiful presentation. I know a couple of students will be saying, "Oh, I want to come to RGU. Do they accept Benin Republic certificates? Are there certain schools in Benin Republic you would consider?" And I just want to know if that is feasible.
So first off, I like to say Benin Republic degree is 3 years. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
Typically, students from Nigeria, our degree is 4 years. So it seems like it's not complete. I
Okay.
mean, you could argue to say the UK degree is 3 years, but I mean, we check
Yeah.
other things like the transcripts and the courses you've done and how deep you went in studying, and most times it really just doesn't meet up. So Benin Republic students may not be getting in for a direct master's with us. They might need to do a pre-master's, which is just like 3 months, and they progress on to do their masters. So they could do the pre-masters option, which still works fine.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So, how about for third class students?
I was hoping you were not going to ask me that.
We have so many students with third class. We'll be like, oh, I have the funds. I need a very good school. And I know RG is just the perfect destination for anyone that wants to study in Aberdeen.
Okay. Well, so we are not very closed in terms of our entry requirements. I hope nobody on campus or nobody in admissions is on this call, so they don't deal with me on Monday. But we would consider third class. The word is consider now. We would consider third class if you have ample years of work experience. So maybe you have like 5 or 6 or 10 years work experience in a relevant field. And I mean, a lot of times when you study in Nigeria, you know what happens in the Nigeria education system. So we don't like to judge students, especially those ones that had third class, like 10 years ago, because a lot of happened in 10 years. So we want to know that you are better than whatever you were in the university. So we would consider students that have third class, but you have to have like ample years work experience. We're talking about 5 years or more. And it has to be a relevant field. Let me give you an example. So probably you studied something in business, but you've been in HR for like 7 years, and you probably have all those accreditations in HR here in Nigeria. You have a very strong case to get admitted, because in this case we want to see your personal statement, back to the personal statement, and your CV.
Mhm.
Those are the major things we look at. Students that have third class or do not meet the typical entry requirements that we advertise would go to academics. So it's basically going to the lecturer. So they are the ones that have to look at it and say, okay, yes, I think the student has what it takes to study a direct master's or not. So if you have a third class, give it a go, but ensure that your personal statement is well written, like very
Mm.
well written. Your CV covers everything you need to cover, and you're just checking all the boxes. Then you have a strong chance. I mean, we will consider HND students with upper credits and over 5 years work experience for a direct masters. So we would also consider third class with over 5 years work experience.
All right. Thank you so much. Okay. So, I have a question in the chat box. Someone is asking, what are the research masters available for January?
I was hoping nobody was going to ask about research courses. And you could really see that I didn't talk a lot about research. And
Yeah.
that was very
Yeah.
intentional.
Yeah.
Okay. So we don't have courses, and I'll start by saying that we don't advertise courses for research. So you would not see masters in research in management or masters in research in health or something. We don't do that. We have degree themes now. We have a page on the website which has like degree themes. Now, those degree themes were typically more for like PhD students that are looking at the kind of topics that our supervisors are open to supervising. So we just came up with the degree themes, and they go through it, and when they see something very close to their area of research, it usually just ties in, and that's it. So
Mhm.
that's the same thing we do for masters by research. We don't have courses, but so far as we have the subject area available, for example, we have courses in computing, so we definitely have degree themes in that area. In business, would have, in health, would have pharmacy, law, social work, all those kind of things would have degree themes. So it's basically your research topic that will determine
Mm.
how it goes for you. Masters by research application is not straightforward. I'm sorry. I'm not supposed to say this now, so not to
I know.
discourage you, because I want you to submit the application, but it's just important we have to lay out and say everything and as it is. So the masters by research would typically, um, the turnaround time for application takes about 8 weeks, which is like 2 months
Wow.
if you need to
Wow.
make it very clear. Yeah, 2 months. So we need you to submit an application. The good thing is we don't need you to search for a supervisor or anything. So you submit your application with your proposal, and we pass it on to academics, who then goes around themselves to check which of them is related. Is interested in researching or in supervising your area of research. So once that passes some checklist, then you get invited for an interview, where you more like have to defend your research proposal. So once you defend it well and it meets up with the academics requirements, then everything is just easy breezy after that.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. I know some students will be saying, "Oh, can I meet up for the January admissions? What can I do? September is too far. Can I go for like May intake? Do you have April intake?" So, what other intakes are in RGU?
Guys, September is not too far. I guarantee you.
No, looking at the whole changes, policies.
Yeah, I know. I know. Well, so when I say September is not too far, it's actually not too far because a while ago, we were saying January was far and now we're close for January. So I think I
Mhm.
just wanted to make you feel good before I tell you the bad news that we've closed applications for January. We don't have a media intake, I'm sorry. But
Wow.
if you come in for September, you can get your cars as early as May. Is that not the
Okay.
mid-year? So if you're getting your cars in May and you're applying for your visas early, I'd like to think that you're already progressing faster than you would think. So it's not so far, but I'm sorry we don't have a media intake. Just to answer your question, Unique, so I don't
Mhm.
get
Thank you.
finicky. We don't
It's
have a
fine.
media intake, but we do have September intake, and we're already open for September. We started issuing offers for September. In fact, I've had a couple of students willing to make deposit towards September because they want to just pay that, then they start their bank statements in the new year or probably sometime in May, just so that they're ready to get their classes early.
All right, thank you. Okay, so I would also like to know, I know students will be asking, what's the CAS process like for RGU now that my bank statement is running? Obviously, it's going to be due in few weeks, and I've done my TB test. What do I need to do to be prepared?
Hmm. Preparedness is important. But the sad news is our class deadline is on Monday. No, sorry, not this Monday, upper Monday. It's on Monday the
Okay,
8th.
upper Monday.
It's on Monday. No, not this Monday. If it was this Monday, trust me, I wouldn't even be here. It's Monday the 8th of December. But I mean, if your bank statement is counting and you probably would, it wouldn't clock 28 days, you probably like the 12th or something, reach out to Study Now and they would reach out to me. And obviously, I just need to know where your bank statement matures so the university can work accordingly. Now, one thing we like to say is for us to issue any cards after the 8th, we would consider it on a case by case basis. So typically, would look at the turnaround time for visas in your local, in your home country. So if visas are delayed, then would advise you to do the priority visa, and you need to guarantee and assure us that you're doing a priority visa. So we're going to issue any late cards. Late cards is basically cards issued after the 8th. You would have to either do the priority visa or do the priority visa. So that's like the that's the option. So you really have to
Mhm.
plan for the extra funds for that one, just so that you can meet up and arrive on campus early. A lot of our students have gotten their visas. A lot of our
Wow.
students are traveling. Yeah, a lot of our students are traveling the second week of December. I mean, I have a couple of them that have shared their flight itinerary with me. So they like to apply early. They like to arrive on campus early so they can settle in, do the festivities, and get ready for enrollment in January. And like we know, university would close. UKVI will go on holiday. So all that would typically delay your visa turnaround time. That's why the reason why we preach for starting early. But I
Mhm.
mean, if you did not start early, we're not going to start talking about that now because we'll still give you certain considerations and obviously issue classes and tell you that you obviously probably need to pay for priority visas.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. So I have a question in the chat box saying for a 3-year undergraduate program, does the £3,000 tuition discount apply every year or it's just for the first year?
So I think that comes with some good news because we've been fighting for something called the progression scholarship and we finally got it. So yay! So it means that every student coming for undergraduate will get. I mean, it's not going to be 3,000, but I think it's like £2,000 progression scholarship of your tuition. Undergraduate tuition is about 16, 15, 17,000 pounds. So if you're getting £2,000 off every year, that really brings it down a lot. So yes, you get progression scholarship as an undergraduate student.
All right. Okay. So another question saying if I want to make a switch like studying something different from my background, like I have a background in art and I want to move to science.
So I think it's always the other way. people have background in science and wants to move to arts because arts to
Yes.
science is more difficult. Science to arts is
Mm,
easier to swallow. We have conversion courses. In fact, a lot of our courses are conversion courses. In recent times, we saw a lot of students that were coming from non-computing background interested in studying like computing, cybersecurity, and all. So because we're a modern university, we tailored some courses like information technology with business intelligence, information technology with cybersecurity. These courses are conversion courses. So basically, if you don't have the knowledge, or you probably don't know anything about computing, or you probably studied like English or what's like the farthest
mhm.
art subject or languages or something, and you just are
Yeah.
interested in computing and you have a bit of knowledge because you probably have been working or doing something, then you can come in for a conversion course. A couple of our courses are conversion courses, so you can do that switch. But I like to say, realistically, it's going to be difficult for somebody that studied languages to come and say they want to do like nursing because we don't have pre-registration nursing. So that's almost, I don't want to use the word impossible because, yet again, if you've had practical work experience in the nursing, in the health sector, then you would be considered if you have like a first degree in something else. So it's not really closed in. There are certain considerations that can be given. And that's why I like to say that we have very flexible entry requirements at Robert Gordon University. I say that and I mean it because compared to a lot of other universities, we tend to still consider certain students and we look at your work experience. If your academic qualification is not our par, we would use certain other considerations to consider you.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. Um, can you tell us about the students' life in Aberdeen in Scotland? Was it like? What's the campus life?
Hmm. So, campus life in Aberdeen, or no, not campus life in RGU, the life in Aberdeen. Hmm.
Yes, please.
So, take this from a Nigerian. I'm Nigerian, obviously. Take this from a Nigerian that has traveled a lot of times to different parts of the United Kingdom, and I eventually went to Scotland, Aberdeen, for the first time. The first thing I like to say is the Scottish people. Now, I'm being generic with Scottish people. I'm not even talking about Aberdeen specifically, but Scottish people are very, 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 very warm, friendly people. If you want to know I mean, I don't want to go on record so nobody comes for me, but they're technically very warm. And when I say this to students, I see a lot of students agree with me. You see students that just arrive on campus and they are lost, not lost, but I mean, they don't know how to go about getting like a cab because in Aberdeen, we don't have Ubers. So you will need to use
Okay.
like a local taxi company. So if you are stuck, people are always willing to help. And those things you don't just see everywhere. So Aberdonians, as they like to call themselves, are very warm. They're amazing people. They're very friendly. Now, in Robert Gordon University, what we don't know is we have a high percentage of Nigerian students in RG. So what does that mean? It means that you are never going to look lost for one day because right from where you get on campus, before you walk into school, you probably see a black person. Maybe they're Nigerian or they're
Wow.
Ghanaian or they're Kenyan or something. We have a very strong African society in Algeria. We have lots of African clubs. So we have the Nigerian Society. Our current student union president is Nigerian. We have two of them. One is Nigerian, one is from Pakistan. So in terms of diversity, we are very, very diversified. Now, another thing I like to tell students, last time I went to Aberdeen, I went into stores in Aberdeen just to do videos and to show students that you don't have to carry your fufu or your eba or your whatever you think that you won't get there.
Yeah.
You don't
Nigerian
need to
food.
carry any of that. We have it in surplus. And we don't have it in like one store where you say, oh, there'll be monopoly and it'll be expensive. No. If this guy's price doesn't cut it for you, go to another store. You don't have to carry Indomie for Nigeria. You don't have to do any of that. All that is there. So we have a very strong Nigerian community in Robert Gordon. Now, you might want to leave Nigeria and don't want to go there and be with Nigerians. That's okay. But I also like to say that we have other countries very well represented. So when I talk about diversity, we are very well diversified. Now, students also ask, oh, Aberdeen is a small town. Are there jobs? Can I get jobs? Yes, there are jobs. their jobs. So you will get jobs. Now, you might be the one that will say, oh, no, I can't do that job. It's too demeaning. Then that's your call. But you will get jobs. Now, is it the kind of jobs that you want to get? Maybe not. But you will get jobs that you can get around. Yeah, it's very important. We have African stores. We have African restaurants. Um, we have different shops. I mean, all the shops you would see in every part of England, we have all that in Aberdeen. Like in Aberdeen, not now in Scotland, in Aberdeen, on the high street, there are all these kind of stores you want to see. So as a student studying in Algeria, I mean, I for one, when I went there, I wanted to be a student again because it just looked very beautiful. The facility, the people, the teachers, the lecturers, everyone is just amazing. And it just feels like everyone is there to make you excel and to make sure you do well. Now, the other part I'll talk about life in Aberdeen and life in Algeria is accommodation. Now, we have more accommodation than students. You don't get to hear that everywhere. So it means that if we have 1,000 Nigerian students coming to Aberdeen today, all of them will get accommodation. That's what it means.
Wow.
Yes, so we have a lot of accommodation. There's no scarcity. You know the period when there was a boom in the
Yeah.
UK and everybody was no, that's not happening with us.
Mm.
We have a lot of accommodation. Students look at this and like, oh no, it's too expensive. I'd rather go for this. So you have the options to explore and say and make a decision based on whatever.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. It's good to have you. And so, our dear students, well, what I would say is RG is just the perfect choice, the perfect destination. If you are looking at studying outside of London, you want something more affordable, RG is a place to consider. Now, looking at the university, it is a land of opportunities, which, of course, from the live session, you could hear there are jobs in RGU, accommodation, the campus life. These are the things to consider when looking at a university. And looking at the industry connections, graduate employability, I would recommend that RG should be your preferred choice. Now, admissions are open for September. If you're interested, of course, you should be interested. Yes, admissions are open for September, and I would encourage that you apply. So you can always send us a DM. We are ever ready to assist you through the process. And guess what? Our services is free of charge. Thank you so much for joining. It's nice to have you. Yes.
Hello, Port Harcourt.
What up, Lagos?
Abuja.
Abariako, Kenya, Tupo site.
The long-awaited day is here.
The study now experience has finally kick-started.
It's been an exciting day, the Study Now experience.
It was a most successful event. We had people, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, traveling from different parts of the city, even from neighboring states, all to be here.
So before we start any events, we actually have an initial briefing meeting just so we can understand, what kind of event it is we want to do and the kind of objective as well. So this allows us to come up with a marketing plan as well as an operational plan for the event.
We want to thank all our students for making it. It's been exciting, it's been informative. We've had the time to spend time with our students, explaining how and what it takes to study abroad.
I'm so glad I'm here today. I learned a lot from the speakers, things I felt I knew were actually wrong, and today I grabbed it in the right perspectives, and I've learned how to navigate my life as a postgraduate aspirant.
When it comes to event logistics, we're talking about the venue selection, catering, the vendors for the branding, the kind of equipment we're going to be using as well in terms of our marketing. We're talking about lights, we're talking about sound.
One day I was scrolling through Instagram and I saw the advert and I clicked on it. That was, I think, 2 or 3 weeks ago. First of all, it was the one for Abuja, and I was heartbroken that I couldn't attend until one of the representatives from Study Now called me earlier last week and was like, I can attend the one in Lagos, and I was so excited. And I was like, I'm definitely going to attend today. And trust me when I say, my coming here was not in vain.
So I came for this program with the expectations of learning more about studying in the UK, learning about tuition, scholarships, and even starting my applications on site. And all my expectations were met. I learned so much about YSJ. I learned about Bradford, the University of Bradford. I learned about Leeds Trinity, various other universities, and the welfare packages that they bring. And it was nothing short of amazing. I enjoyed this program.
I think one thing that I'm very keen on is guest experience, which is why, we have to take all these things serious. The venue setup as well is actually a very rigorous process because we're always there a day before, ensuring that everything is set up properly, the registration booth is okay, how the hall would be, what the flow would be as well. So we even have like the roles and responsibilities of the day, so everyone knows exactly what to do, which is how we go about our planning. So in terms of the crowd, we had more hands that could assist with the registration booth. We even had to get like fair hands as well to assist us. I think another challenge was also the masterclass that we had. Everyone wanted to see Waka Waka Doctor, to speak to him, but we're able to, manage that well as well. In fact, I know there was a time where we just had to like swap the halls quickly so that we could get a larger crowd into Waka's masterclass.
It was actually very amazing to see how prepared students came for the event. Some came in with written down questions, others came in with their physical documents, some came with their soft copy documents, ready to proceed after getting information that they needed.
I won't say we had a lot of challenges, and if at all, we were able to overcome it as well, even in terms of catering. Sometimes when it's break time, it's a bit strenuous because, you have a long crowd, you're trying to serve, but we had more than enough people on ground to assist as well. So I think well done to the Study Now team for being able to, handle situations as they come.